Hey guys, Scott here. I'm probably the only Dead by Daylight content creator that regularly goes on Reddit. And as someone that goes to the Reddit a lot, I have to say, among all of these social discussion platforms for DBD, it's probably the most tame overall. It's actually the most rational. But I mean, we're comparing it to, TikTok and Twitter, which it's not really saying that much. But still, among all the social media for Dead by Daylight, it's usually the most rational. However, one of the top comments here, or one of the top posts there, was something that I definitely don't agree with, and I want to talk about this mindset. So the whole topic here is stop saying that the killer tunneled you, you're just terrible at hiding. The whole concept of this post is that after you're unhooked, don't just go sprinting around, leaving scratch marks, being super obvious where you are, because then if the killer sees you, it's not tunneling anymore, you're just being really obvious about it. And so it's kind of on the person getting unhooked for not being stealthy enough. So I need to say I completely disagree with that opinion. I think it's like 95% on the person that does the unhooking. The person that gets unhooked, yes, there is a bit of an onus on you to not just sprint into the killer and just, okay, that one's on you. But for the most part, you can't really hide if you're unhooked and a killer's got tunneling in their brain. Because they're going to be close enough to be able to find you almost every time. Unless you have off the record. I'd say off the record is probably the one exception to where actually you can attempt to just straight up hide. But for the most part, it's really easy to track an injured survivor that just came off the hook. If I want to find someone that gets unhooked within the past 10 seconds, I will find them 100% of the time, every single time. That was such a redundant statement. I need to make it clear, though. It's really easy to find people that have just recently been unhooked if you're trying to find them. Again, unless they have like off the record, which makes them silent and actually able to hide pretty effectively. But you have to think about it as basically just a radius, a circle. The survivor can only get X amount of, radius out of that circle that they're in. And as long as the killer inserts themselves in that circle within 5 or 10 seconds, there's not really anywhere a survivor can go without leaving scratches, because obviously if they're sprinting away, they could get further, but if they're walking to remain stealthy, they can't get very far. So the killer has a very small area to search and just start listening for a single whimper, and then that's it. And then they're tunneled and they're done. That's not the survivor's fault. They can't do anything about that except preemptively put on off the record, which, not everyone has and is frankly just dumb advice. Oh, just fix it with a perk. It's not really great advice there. So I need to make this clear, and this might help people in solo queue. The person getting tunneled off the hook like that, a lot of that is up to the person that's doing the unhooking. As the person that's doing the unhooking, you gotta be right in the killer's face. You have to make yourself more obvious than you normally want to be, because you want all of that killer's focus to be on you when you're doing the unhooking. Now, there are exceptions. If you're also on death hook or something and the guy you're unhooking is on death hook, well, then it's sort of, it's every man for himself at that point. Then, then you gotta kind of try to go into self-preservation there. But if you have less hook states and the person that's getting tunneled, which you likely do if they're getting tunneled, then it's really up to you to be in the killer's face, to body block them, to create scratches, to create diversions, to create everything that you can to draw the killer's attention. Something that's actually very effective, I've found, is if there's a generator near the hook, immediately go on the generator right in the killer's face. Even killers that tunnel have a hard time ignoring someone doing a generator right in their face, because it's almost like offensive at that point. It's like, what are you gonna do about it, bitch? I'm doing the game right here. You can't stop me. It's actually one of the few things that will pull a tunneling killer off if you do a gen right in their face, but not all the time is there a gen right in their face. So that's just another little bit of advice. But yeah, I will say I definitely disagree with this. It is mostly up to the person doing the unhooking to run interference for you, to try to get their killer off of you, because any killer that has played the game for even a decent amount of time, that has even read that tunneling is a good idea, is probably going to be able to find that tiny radius that you've been able to leave the hook in if you're not running and you're just sneaking around, and they're going to be able to find you and kill you pretty fast, especially if you're just hiding and you're not like actually at a loop to get actively chased or anything. If you're just hiding behind a rock or something, you're super dead. So yeah, overall, I usually agree with a lot of the stuff I see on Reddit that's highly upvoted. I mean, there's crazy unhinged shit all the time, but it's downvoted and it's not ever seen. But this had a pretty decent amount of upvotes, and I had to say I fundamentally disagree with that. It's mostly up to the guy doing the unhooking. Actually, in the comments, a lot of people talk about the thing that I talked about a long time ago, survivor-induced tunneling, where the person that does the unhooking will just hide immediately, and then the only stimulus the killer has is the whimpering and blood of a person that was just unhooked. So even I will tunnel at that point because there's no one else to go for. So that whole survivor-induced tunneling thing, because the person that it hooks you hides like a coward, that is far more of a problem than people just actually trying to run away from the killer after they're unhooked. So I just wanted to clear that up a little bit. I definitely disagree with that whole mindset, but that's pretty much it. Until The Unknown comes out, there's not too much content to talk about, and I actually have a lot of interesting discussions that I want to make with comments that I've seen on Reddit, so I might do this a bit again, because I like addressing, common misconceptions, which is funny, because this whole comment is about what apparently is a common misconception, but that is going to be it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.